What's up, everybody? This is Greg Birch with Delta Financial, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making all of you better people, better in your lives, better in your businesses by talking about sales, leadership, entrepreneurship, mindset, marketing, and everything under the sun. Now, this podcast is going to be in a couple different segments. This segment is, there's three different segments. This segment is all about me talking to all of you and trying to teach you something. I'm going to go over a different concept or a topic. Then I'll have an episode where I talk with agency owners within Delta about leadership topics or maybe challenges that they're having and how they're overcoming it to grow their business. And hopefully it will share experiences with you so that you can learn from them. And then every Friday, we're going to have a interview podcast where I'm interviewing other successful entrepreneurs in different industries across the United States and getting information from them or them sharing their stories. So hopefully you can learn from it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with a story. And this is going to be this is going to be a probably a very polarizing topic, but it's still something that everyone needs to realize. So in the mid 1800s, there was a pandemic. It was called the Black Death of Childbed. It was also known as puerperal fever. And what was happening was about 70% of women were dying after about 48 hours after they gave childbirth. And now this was a time of science. This was a time of exploration in this era. And this was during a medical revolution. So all the doctors, they were trying to understand why these women were dying. So what they would do is they would go in and they would do autopsies all night. And they would go in to do autopsies and they would try to find the source of why these women were dying. And so they were constantly going at it. And after they would go through doing autopsies in the morning, they would go run their rounds. They would do all the births. They would give birth to all the children, and then they would continue that process over and over and over again. And it wasn't until about the 1850s that a doctor by the name of Oliver Wendell Holmes came in and said, "Hey guys, I know what the problem is. You guys are the problem because you're digging in dead bodies, and then you're giving babies. You're causing this." And the entire medical community laughed at him. They laughed at him because they thought that he was a kook. It took 30 years after he came forward and said that before they realized, one doctor finally realized, like, if I just sterilized my equipment in between doing autopsies and actually working with patients, then this actually will massively reduce the chance of death. And when that started happening overnight, puerperal fever gone. The moral of this story is that sometimes you're the problem. Sometimes you're doing things that are not helping your business, that are not helping yourself. I can't tell you how many times I've looked over and I've seen individual agents doing things that is ruining their business and ruining their chances of success. Or I've seen agency owners or managers that are recruiting in a way that's actually hurting their business. One of the best things that you can do as an entrepreneur is sit down every single day, especially as an insurance sales agent. Do a review of your day. Do a review of your appointments, of your phone calls, of your appointment sets, of your conversations with your agents, and rate how it went. Give yourself an honest assessment. And then also project how it's going to go. For instance, what I mean by that is if you're an agency manager and you have an agent you're really trying to help, brand new agent, you're giving them guidance on what they need to do. And so you sit down and you do a call with them and you have this great conversation. And you're like, "Hey, this is what you got to do. And I'm going to tell you why." And you're having that in-depth mentorship session with this new agent. And at the end of the day, you rate yourself and say, man, I feel good about it. Like I actually called them. They called me and I answered and I was available to them. Check. I had a long conversation for an hour and I really painted the picture. Check. They seemed excited on the phone. Check. Right. Boom. It was a good day. And you rate yourself. But then also keep open to the opportunity that and to the possibility that at the end, in at the end of this entire session, you know, give it a few days. Does the agent actually apply the things that you recommended? Do they actually move forward? Do they find success? If they do, then you're on the right track. Now you want to take that entire situation and you want to mimic it again. You want to do it exactly how you did with another agent, and you want to see what the success is. This is the scientific method, right? You're going to see if this is working with every single person. And when it doesn't, you're going to identify that situation and find out why. This isn't happening for the most part that I've seen across a lot of the industry. They're not taking time to actually understand how to help people. They're just taking one exact method, a method that they probably learned to or was taught to them, and they're just saying, hey, go do this, go do this, go do that as an agency manager. Agency owner or agents, your individual agents, you guys are and gals aren't actually doing everything you need to do in order to be successful. Sometimes, there is some out there that are. In doing an accountability session, looking yourself in the mirror and saying, am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing on a daily basis in order to be successful? Can you actually assess yourself in that way? Imagine this. Imagine that you had a video camera that watched your every action from the time you woke up until the time you went to bed. And that was all monitored and watched by everyone in your agency or everyone in your company. Could you honestly look at them and say, I've been doing everything I can to get in front of clients. I've been doing everything I can to make sales. Could you say that? I promise you that the answer is no. I promise you there's always more that you could be doing. I promise you that you're not following the fundamentals like you should be. You're not following, if you're not having success, then you're not getting on the phones. You're not following your schedule. You're not controlling your schedule either. You're not tracking your metrics. You're not investing in yourself professionally. You're not developing yourself. You're not reading daily. You're not feeding good information, positive information into your mind. And if you're not doing those things, you're the problem. It's not the leads. It's not your upline. It's not the company. You're the problem. And when you realize this, it's very freeing. It's like a cathartic weight is just coming off your shoulders because you realize, because if you point the finger at everyone else, there's no room for improvement. You're basically saying, hey, I'm perfect. I did everything I possibly can. I am perfect. I am the Jesus Christ of sales. And that's just not the fact. You cannot control other people. You cannot control outside circumstances, but you can control your actions. That's one thing you can do. And so the message I want to put out to all of you on this first message is strive to always improve your own individual actions, control them and improve them. And I don't care what company you're in. I don't care who your mentor is. I don't care what leads you're using. I don't care what products you have available to you. But if you do this every single day, I promise you, you're going to be massively successful in any industry that you're in. If you like this content, hit the like button below, follow the content, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you get notified whenever we're coming live to you each week. Apply this to your business. See the change.